top line has just been unbelievable so far in the first two games. Francois centers that. Sends Contour, score! Just like that. And Glassman score!
This line continues its handiwork.
They have the toughest pre-tournament opponent in the last game, and that is the case with Finland.
Kaapo Kakko, he might be their next great player. Plays it across, scores! Eli Tolman on the power play. Now it's on to Vancouver. One more pre-tournament game, and then the 2019 World Junior Championship.
After 12 days and a couple of games in Victoria, Canada has moved to its home for the rest of the tournament, Vancouver, BC, where they'll play Finland. Big night for Mikey DiPietro, his second start and the starting job likely on the line. He'll split the game with Ian Scott, and the coaches will make a decision on who starts on Boxing Day. We finally get to see Brett Leeson, his first game since injuring his hand in camp. Jack Studnicka and Canada looking to go 3-0 before the games actually count, starting on Boxing Day, as we say, hello Canada, happy Christmas Eve. James Duthie and Bob McKenzie for Canada's final tune-up game for the World Juniors against Finland. The goal always coming into these games is to get better as they go along, and so far they have done that. They win the first one, albeit a flawed win, a much more dominant win in the second game, and now you have to try to win against the toughest opponent you've played so far. To get you set for it, Gordon Miller and Ray Ferraro.
And James, you mentioned that Brett Leeson makes his pre-tournament debut for Canada, a player who has electrified the Western Hockey League this year for Prince Albert.
Yeah, coming off of 2 years where he had pretty pedestrian numbers, 24 goals in 135 games for Brett Leeson, but he was traded to Prince Albert, and playing for Coach Mark Habscheid. They've opened up his game a little bit. You see 28 goals in the Western Hockey League. He was tied for the league lead in the Western League in points when he left for this. He's now number 3 in the league, but Leeson's a big body at 6'4". He can really shoot the puck, but the key for him is that he picked up a second gear over the summer. His skating maybe kept him back a little bit. Now it's something that is a strength, and a player that's gone through 2 drafts undrafted is now projected to be late first round, perhaps a second round pick.
Now, meantime, the Finns got a lot of help for their blue line from National Hockey League teams. Earl Vakanainen comes from Boston. Henri Hokaharju comes from Chicago. They did not get 2 key players, though. Miro Heiskanen's in Dallas and playing great. And, of course, Jesperi Kotkaniemi's been terrific for Montreal as well. James?
All right, thank you, boys. Here is the Team Canada lineup. You see Brett Leeson down there as the 13th forward for now. One other note, Nick Suzuki, Jared Anderson-Dolan. Suzuki's still at center, but Anderson-Dolan, they hope, will spend some time at center, still healing from that wrist injury. The goaltending situation, big night for both these kids.
Well, especially DiPietro. He gave up 3 goals on 17 shots against Switzerland. He'll want to come back with a strong performance, put his best foot forward. And he will be facing a lineup tonight that's got some real shooters. Eeli Tolvanen and the Nashville Predator on loan from the NHL. Rasmus Kapari, LA King first rounder, and Alexei Heponiemi, who's a star in the Western Hockey League, now playing in Europe, Florida Panther prospect. That's their top line, the Finns, tonight. So this is going to be a much tougher test, both for DiPietro and Scott, but also the Team Canada defense and their overall team defense.
Right, Gordon Ray mentioned the 2 NHLers they didn't get back from Dallas and Montreal, but Tolvanen just lent by the Nashville Predators a couple of days ago, and he should make a massive difference for the Finns. One more break, and we'll take you to Vancouver for the drop of the puck. Here are your starting goaltenders. As mentioned, DiPietro will split the game with Ian Scott. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen goes for Finland. Sudbury Wolves player who was a second-round pick of the Sabres in 2017. Gordon Ray, have your call.
Team Canada's home for the holidays, moving here to Vancouver after 2 pre-tournament games in Victoria. This will be the site of Canada's round-robin games and the medal round portion as well. And the referees are Brett Iverson, who is an IHF official, along with Michael Campbell, a Western Hockey League official. Nathan Van Oosten is an IHF accredited official as well. Mike Bitko is the other linesman. And we mentioned that the Canadian group has moved to this arena where we'll see Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, the Buffalo second-round pick who plays for Sudbury in the Ontario Hockey League, having a great year there with a .923 save percentage. And for Team Canada, 19-year-old Mike DiPietro Canucks third round pick in 2017. Now playing for Ottawa in the Ontario League, was traded right before the Canadian camp, played one game for the 67s after being dealt by Windsor.
Yeah, you know, he's excited to play. It didn't go so well for him in the opener. Gave up 3 goals and 19 shots, but a Vancouver Canuck draft pick playing in an arena that he hopes to be in as a pro.
Jussi Ahokas took over midway through the World Junior Championship 2 years ago as the head coach for the Finns, and Tim Hunter, an assistant coach the last 2 years, now the head man for Team Canada, 5th year head coach of the Moose Jaw Warriors, a former Vancouver Canuck who played here for Pat Quinn and said that Quinn is the biggest coaching influence he's had.
It's amazing when, you know, in the years that since Pat has passed, that how many people have said he was among their greatest coaching influence, including Tim and also Travis Green, who coaches here for the Vancouver Canucks.
So Team Canada arrived here yesterday. The Canucks played last night, so tomorrow the ice will be repainted. Team Canada didn't get the dressing room today until noon.
So they're in a auxiliary dressing room for this evening's game. Oh, they got the lights on, so that means we'll be able to start. But they're in an auxiliary room. The trainers will work late tonight to get the main room ready. And here we go, last preliminary game.